Hello and welcome to CEO.CA. My name is James Patton, and today I'm joined by Trevor Boyd, Technical Advisor at Canadian North Resources Inc. They trade on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the ticker CNRI. Trevor, it's great to see you today.
Thanks very much for having me.
So if we could kick things off with a brief history of the Ferguson Lake project. Obviously this is Canadian North's flagship project, and there's been a lot of work done over the years. So could you give us a quick summary of the key developments there?
The project has been active, or not active, but has been worked on since the 1950s by the original major nickel company, Inco, and also a company called Starfield Resources. Since in 2013, we picked up the project when CNRI or Canadian North Resources was a private company. We picked it up in bankruptcy proceedings, and as a result, we have been working on the project since then. To date, CNRI, or Canadian North Resources, went public in April 2022, and since the history of the project, it is an advanced exploration project. It has had over 225,000 meters of drilling, and over $190 million spent on it. So it's over 750 holes. So it is a very, very advanced exploration project with a lot of infrastructure.
Yeah, very interesting that so much work has been done over the years, and a significant amount of money invested in the development of the project. Why has so much development work gone on there? What is it about the geology at Ferguson Lake that makes it an exciting prospect for development?
It is a high-grade nickel, copper, cobalt, palladium, platinum project with some rhodium as well. And it's considered probably the highest grade open pit, possibly open pit unmined project in the Americas. It is very, very rich. We can talk about the resources and the grade and tonnage, and it's for that reason it's quite exciting, particularly in the last few years as these metal prices have recovered. So
I understand there's some ongoing work with a metallurgical program that you're undertaking right now at the Ferguson Lake project. Could you give us a recap of the work that's been done and maybe some next steps that are going to happen once this metallurgical program is complete?
Well, basically, we have we put out a revised, an updated mineral resource statement in March 19th, whereupon we showed that it has over 66 million tons of indicated resource, of which over 50 million tons of that is open pit. Grades on that are approximately 0.5% nickel, 0.8 or 9% cobalt, copper, but 0.06% cobalt, plus about 1.1 grams per ton palladium, and about 0.2 grams per ton platinum, approximately. This high grade material was modeled based on a metallurgical flotation gravity circuit, which we have been working on for the past since 2016. The news release, which we have filed just recently on April 3rd, outlines this program. The main takeaway from it is that for the first time in the history of the project, we have managed to we have created a pathway for creating payable nickel, cobalt, copper, and platinum group element concentrates using just the flotation gravity circuit. This is new information because previous workers believed that only a hydrometallurgical system would work. Hydrometallurgical flow sheet would be able to extract the metals, and which is a much higher cost option. So the takeaway from this is that we now have a lower cost option for processing and developing the project.
Very interesting. I think that's certainly an update that's going to resonate with investors. But I'd like to get your perspective on it. Obviously some high grades that you're encountering and a polymetallic project, so lots of optionality. A lot of work has been done at Ferguson Lake over the years. In your view, what needs to happen next for a pathway into production at this project?
Well, what's great about this new resource and these metallurgical results is that it basically overcomes the threshold for starting to complete economic studies and looking at development options for the project. Basically, we are in terms of next steps, we will be completing. We're going back. We're opening the cap this year, and we're going to complete more drilling with the purpose of basically increasing the size and the quality of resource. So, with the goal of increasing them to over 100 million tons of the similar grade as mentioned. We also are creating pathways for doing follow-up metallurgical testing, particularly for increasing those recoveries, which are in that report, in that news release. And as we are also doing this year, we have enough information to undertake scoping studies, to complete environmental assessments, ESG community consultation, and also to assess various pathways for building an all-weather road to steelhead communities for supply of the camp and for development purposes. All this work requires a lot of surveys and ground truthing, and that is what we're starting this summer. We have applied for a critical minerals infrastructure grant in order to facilitate this, which is available from the federal government.
So you touched on the potential of another drill program. Is that set in stone? Do you have a plan already underway, or are you hoping to go back to the site and drill more later in the year?
Probably later in the year. We're looking at we have put together. We've got all our permitting ducks lined up, permissions from the local governments and from the communities, and so we got that all lined up. But we do have enough. We do have enough funds to open the camp and do all the surface work and survey work and environmental assessments. So we have most of the funding in place. So we're going to open the camp for certain. To complete drilling to increase that resource accordingly. The deposit is, or the mineralized horizon that makes up the deposit in trends is over 15 kilometers long strike. So, but it remains open along strike to the east and west, and also down dip to the north. So there's lots as well. There are a lot of other surface areas for follow-up drilling as well. So there's a lot of blue sky for increasing that resource much higher level to what is announced now.
Understood. Thank you for that clarification, and gives us a bit of sense of what the future holds for Canadian North. Just to wrap up, is there anything that maybe we haven't touched on that the CEO.CA community and retail investors in general should keep in mind when they're looking at CNRI?
I guess the main thing is the blue sky potential, and the fact that we are expanding our work beyond just being an exploration company. We, based on the results of the mineral resource statement and the metallurgical work, we are transitioning to becoming a development company. That's important in terms of realizing value and adding value for shareholders.
Well, I think that's a great note to end on. Trevor, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.